First of all, I don't think it's an honor to go after these guys. I think it's a setup, Phil. These are professional politicians that know how to talk for a living, and I'm just a guy that had a vision. And I got to what we're going to talk about today. I got to know Phil several months ago. I got to know Jay several months ago, and it reminded me of my story and how the community came around me, how Bush embraced me, and how Mayor Beater embraced me, and how the whole community embraced me. And really what we're talking about is we're talking vision without distraction. We're talking about transition without losing tradition. We're talking about leadership without ego. And then we're talking about commitment through compassion. And I bring up this story because I had a vision in 1989 that I was going to go to work for Donald Trump. That's what I was going to do. So much so I wrote it down in my yearbook quote. And I wrote, "Donald Trump, I'm coming." And I never got distracted from that vision. Each and every day people will tell me that ain't going to happen. Troy, you don't got this. Troy, you don't got this. And as I heard Phil and Jay come to me, they shared their vision and they said, "Man, everybody's telling us we can't do this, we can't do this, and we can't do this." But they had no distraction at all. Next, they looked at the fact that they had to have transition without losing tradition of Idaho. And we're transitioning into the 22nd century. We're transitioning into that now, but they didn't want to lose the traditional values. And it reminds me of a quick story of Butch. I had a great honor to work with Butch Otter during his re-election campaign in 2010. And before I'd ever met Butch, I was told that I was going on this Apprentice show, and they said, "Troy, you got to find someone you look up to. You got to find somebody that you can emulate. You got to find someone that represents your brand, that represents you." And I started looking around, and I'm like, and at that time he was lieutenant governor. Remember, we met at the Boys and Girls Club, and I see this cat, man. He's wearing this cowboy hat and his boots, and I'm like, man, that's it. That's who that's it right there. I got my boots. This guy goes out and wears a tie and suit today. Thanks. And he's obviously evolved. He transitioned. But it also reminds me of the time that we're flying in an airplane. And we're flying in an airplane together. We were going to southern Idaho. And he is committed. He's got leadership without ego, and that's what this is about too. That's the key element, leadership without ego, because Butch at that time was making effective decisions for people, not because they were his decisions, but because they were the right decisions for our community. Also, Butch at that time was getting very stressed out, and he was working a lot. And here I have this fancy laptop that I just got. I pop open that laptop and I see Butch, he's looking at all these Excel spreadsheets, and I think, man, I got this old movie. I popped this movie, and it's called Open Range. Anybody seen it? Great movie, right? So I popped this movie, and old Butch, he looks over to me and goes, "Hey, what you doing there?" And I said, "I'm just watching a movie." And he goes, "Give me that movie." And he starts watching it. And I tell him, I go, "Butch, check this out." I press the button on the side of that laptop, and you know that little thing that slides out? I go, "That holds your coffee. Just put your coffee right there." That's transition without losing tradition, but that's leadership without ego. We need this in our community. These gentlemen, to the left, to the right, to the center, to the up, to the down, it doesn't matter what their position is. Together they came on this stage, together they came on this day, and they agree that we need innovation. They agree that we need to have transition while embracing our traditions of Idaho. And our tradition of Idaho is embracing visionaries. Visionaries that don't get distracted like Phil and Jay. Visionaries that stick to their chief aim. Just because other people told them that they couldn't, they did. And that vision is supported by this community. And it's supported by these great leaders. So for that, I compliment you all. And thank you very much for investing in this vision. Because this company, this team will be the next Apprentice. They'll be the next generation. And so, although each and every one of you know me as the guy on the Apprentice, what you don't know has happened after the fact. After I got introduced to the world, I've become an early investor into startup companies in Idaho. I've afforded myself, my community, the opportunity to give back, not hundreds of dollars, but tens of thousands of dollars to the communities because I have compassion through commitment. And that's what these gentlemen have too. They have compassion through commitment into the transition that represents our tradition. And this group has vision without distraction. And because of all that, we now have a reality. And for that, I ask each and every one of you to put your glasses up. And I ask you to look at Phil and Jay, and I ask you to look at the Boise Tech Center, and I ask you to look at your leaders, your community leaders. And I ask you to say, "Here, here," Congratulations, the Boise TechMall. Put it up. Here, here. Cheers. By the way, it's not alcohol. I wish it was, but it's not. If it was whiskey, I'd tip with you. I probably shouldn't say that. Now from here, if we can just turn our attention, I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and grab your hats, grab your shovels, and let's make this event, and let's memorialize it, and let's do the groundbreaking event. We can all move over and pay your attention over here. But you didn't wear your boots today, did you? Okay, why you gotta outdo me with your boots, too?